Hello everyone, my name is Jackie and welcome to the first episode of The Cultured Couch. Today, I'm going to help you get cultured with watching your first opera. As some of you know, I'm an amateur opera singer, and over the years, I've taken many of my friends to their first opera. And I'm proud to say that many of them are now obsessed. But now that we're all practicing social distancing, I can no longer drag my friends to the opera, so I'm gonna try to convince you to watch your first opera online. Now, I know normally that would be a very tough sell, but you're probably out of Netflix shows to watch anyway, so of course, watching opera online is not at all comparable to seeing a performance in person. You miss out on all of the best parts, like dressing up and sharing the experience with your friends. And there's something profoundly powerful about listening to the unamplified voice fill the entire opera house. But there are certain advantages to watching opera online. Instead of squinting to see the singers, you'll now be able to see the sweat on their faces. And the best part? It's free! Alright, let's get started. The first question you have to figure out is, what opera should I watch? I'm gonna have to go with Nozze di Figaro, or The Marriage of Figaro, as my recommendation for your first opera. You want your first opera to be light and entertaining, so you've got to go with a comic opera. Plus, Mozart is my favorite composer, and the man is a genius. The music is nuanced and just beautiful, even if you don't listen actively. But the plot is what really made it a winner, because it's essentially a soap opera. The best way for me to tell the story in a nutshell is for me to draw a relationship diagram of all the major characters.
The Count and Countess Almaviva are married, but over the years the Count takes things for granted and becomes a womanizer. He's interested in Susanna, the maid of the Countess, but Susanna is about to marry Figaro, who actually helped the Count and Countess get together in the prequel to this story and currently works as the chauffeur of the Count. Then there's Cherubino, the teenage page of the Count who loves all women in the opera but is actually very harmless. Dr. Bartolo used to be Rosina's guardian and wanted to marry her when she's of age, so he's still salty that the Count ruined his plans with Figaro's help. To complicate things further, Figaro owes Dr. Bartolo money and promised that if he defaults, he'll have to marry Dr. Bartolo's housekeeper, the aging Marcellina. But Figaro turns out to be the long-lost love child of Marcellina and Dr. Bartolo, so the loan is forgiven and he is free to marry Susanna. Now, the only obstacle standing in the way of the wedding is the Count, who wants to take advantage of Susanna before she gets married. So Susanna and the Countess devise a clever plan to reveal the Count's duplicity to everyone. The Count begs for forgiveness from the Countess, Figaro and Susanna get married, and everyone lives happily ever after.
If you're still with me, good job for sticking it out. And you might be wondering, where can I watch this opera for free? The Metropolitan Opera on Demand has a free 7-day trial. Link below. And what if you loved it so much that you want to watch more after your free trial ends? Well, the good news is, the Met is currently offering free nightly streaming of past performances in light of COVID-19. Also, link below. And if you want to learn more about opera and be a more informed listener, I'll be making videos on the different voice types and the interesting things to listen for when you're watching opera. So stay tuned and see you next time!